Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. I'm going to do something again a little bit different today. Had a lady ask me about my electric pressure cooker. This is it. It's a Cosori, Italian make. You see Cosori. I absolutely love it. In fact, if I hadn't bought Ninja air fryer, I would have gone for the Cosori. I like them as a brand. And I do use this. I thought, she asked how I use it, wanted some more knowledge, and I thought, well, today I'll do one with the Cosori pressure cooker. So for any of you thinking about options against, I think the perfect setup would be your air fryer and electric pressure cooker if you want to save big money. The pressure cooker is so quick. It is totally different. Obviously, you can't do things in your pressure cooker that you can do in your air fryer. And likewise, a risotto, maybe some people have done risottos in the Ninja. I personally haven't tried. I'm still learning with this, but I do know that in my pressure cooker, I can turn a risotto out in about 7 minutes. Normally, if I've got plenty of time, I will do it the traditional way. I do like spending time over risotto, seeing it come together and get creamy. But today, for economy, for quickness, and to show this lady who's been on my channel and asked about it and asked if I'd give a demo, I thought let's crack on and do one with the electric pressure cooker today. So I'm going to do, you guys, mushroom and leek risotto. By the way, PS, before anyone asks me if I've had my hair cut, I've just come in from work and it's tied up, okay? So that's why it's not hanging down. Better for cooking with, really. Anyway, let's go. I'm using today an South Australian Chardonnay, and this, you don't have to have wine in it. I'm also doing it as a vegetarian risotto. I've got, this is my rice, a Boreal risotto rice. You do need to get a risotto rice to make a decent risotto. It breaks down differently, it cooks differently to the likes of short grain and basmati. That's one medium-sized leek, finely chopped. Mushrooms, this looks a huge amount, and trust me, it cooks down. It's about a pound of mushrooms. The only reason I'm doing this is they were sat in the fridge and they were sitting there too long and I needed to get them used. I can freeze the risotto, so it's good. It makes good economic sense. In these mushrooms, you've got chestnut mushrooms, which have got the brown skin on. Then you've just got, if I can find one, well, trust me on this, they are white button mushrooms. Although calling them button mushrooms is wrong. They're not. That's just a white mushroom. They're just white mushrooms. They weren't expensive. Lovely if you've got wild mushrooms, or what they could term as wild mushrooms, sat in the fridge that often the supermarkets are selling. A friend told me Aldi do a nice range in a forest mushroom. Fabulous. All can go in the risotto. And what we do, even with these, I'm going to try and intensify the flavours. Next thing is we've got some grated parmesan, fresh parmesan. And if you're doing soups or stews, put the rind in like that. Don't throw it away. Fish it out when it's finished. But all that is stuff that can't easily grate off, but that will impact in your flavour into your risotto. Yesterday in the Ninja, I was drying my herbs from the garden. I love fresh herbs out the garden. But we're coming into the season where everything's going to die back, and I wanted herbs for the winter. This is sage. If you've got herbs in your garden, this is a fabulous piece of kit to dry your herbs. And then just put them in little boxes like this, and you'll have herbs right through the winter. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of sage. I'm also adding some miso paste. You hear people today all about miso and everything. It does add something. I can't actually put my finger on what it adds. It's a richness. You don't have to add it. I've made loads of risottos without it. But since I've started using it, I add it to sometimes soups, stews and risottos. Only a little. You don't want to, this is a mushroom and leek risotto. They're going to be the stars. Garlic went in, 1 clove of garlic went in with those chopped leeks, by the way, folks. And then, as I said, today we're going to try and keep it vegetarian. So I'm using vegetable stock cubes, and I'll explain the quantity you need and everything as we go along. Last but not least is extra virgin oil. So this is what we're going to start off with. Let's get this turned on anyway. Right, okay, so I'm going to, my first job is I'm going to saute off the mushrooms and the onions. This Cosori, I'm just going to put a splash of this in. You don't want too much in, but you don't want anything burning on the bottom. So I would say that's a tablespoon of olive oil. So we go to the saute. You come down your menu down here on the, this is your menu on a Cosori. They're all a bit different, but they're all pretty straightforward. So you go down your menu, and I need saute. So I'm just going to, oops. Oh, actually, menu. And then I need to come down the menu. Can you see as it's click, click, up to the other side, saute, okay? So, and I've got it on 5, so I actually need more. So I'm going to use 8-minute saute, okay? That's going to start. I don't bring the lid down because I'm just heating everything up. So in goes the leeks. Right, tip the leeks in. And tip my mushrooms in. And they're going to saute away. And the last, then after that, that's when I'll put the rice in. These are going to shrink down. That's exactly what you expect them to do. So as that comes to heat, I'm going to stand over it and I'm going to just make sure it all... Yeah, I'm just waiting for it getting warm. It does warm up very quickly, this, and it sautés quite well. And I actually today just discovered that we've actually got a slow cook on this, so I could use it as a slow cooker. So that's another idea for you, you know, not wanting to use the big electric heating appliances. You could set it on a slow. That's something I haven't tried, so that's something I'm going to be looking to try. I did have a slow cooker, but in all honesty, I didn't get my stews and things came out, and the meat didn't have the same textures that I'm looking for. When I have a stew, I really like my meats to fall apart. So I went back to my electric pressure cooker on those things. No doubt, there's people who are used to slow cookers. I've probably been doing something wrong, but I'm going to give it another go. Now I can just say, hear that sizzling. Yeah, so that's my sauteing started. Okay, and that's what we need. So during the saute, we're doing this to like develop the flavours of the mushrooms and the leeks, because this is going to be like quite a speedy method, because the actual risotto itself, the rice is only going to be on 5 to 6 minutes. Then I'll stop it, depressurise it, and check at that point whether I think that rice is cooked enough and whether I need to bring it back to pressure and give it 1 or 2 minutes. But it's nothing like when I'm stood at the gas hob and spend maybe 40 minutes ladling stock into the risotto. It's quite therapeutic though if you just want to watch and stir and cook, listen to some music or anything. But today I don't have the time for that. And we just season with the parmesan goes in here. That's a seasoning on its own. So I will be using some black pepper. I'm going to just throw a pinch of sage in there at the moment while everything's coming together. Just as you don't want a lot, the herbs, just 2 little pinches like that. It just backs up. Sage and mushrooms go together very nicely. Right, so they're going to take a few minutes. So I'll say bye for the moment. Back soon when it's at the next stage, ready to add the rice. Bye for now. I will just bring the lid down. Just a thought, folks. I just thought I'm putting the lid down on this just to let the steam build up in there a little bit while the leeks and the mushrooms are sauteing. And then I suddenly remembered on this one, I don't know about other electric pressure cookers, but one of the reasons I like this one so much is the lid actually comes off. It makes it so much easier for washing and everything like that. So no doubt others who have electric cookers will tell me, pressure cookers will tell me if they've got lids that come off. But yeah, I'll back shortly. Just come and have a look. You know all those mushrooms? Well, look at all those leeks. Everything has just sweated down. Okay, so this is our next stage. For me, I'm just going to add a bit of, this is our miso paste. 1 teaspoon, that's all you need. Stir that in. And there we go. Next job, rice. Now the rice, normally in risotto, when you're cooking risotto, the ratios are 1 of rice for a same quantity of water or stock, whatever you're using. But in the pressure cooker, the ratios are 2 to 1. So this is looking at about, just about on the 1/4 pint of risotto rice. In it goes. Now I need to get that stirred through so it starts to go translucent. So that's what I'm looking for now. So I'm stirring the rice through. I'm going to give it just a minute till I feel it's ready before we add our wine, and then I'll stop. So while that's sort of doing that, I'm actually doing quite an intense stock because we're only using 2 to 1 ratio. I want the stock to be fairly intense in its flavour, because when you're doing it this way, it's very quick, so you don't develop flavour. So you've got to make sure that you compensate for that and give it flavour. So that's what I'm doing with the vegetable. I really like no stock cubes. They never seem to let me down. Right, okay. Just stir that round. You don't want anything sticking on. So this is the sort of worky part. The same with when your leeks and mushrooms are sweating down. Do keep stirring them. Right, that quickly needs some water boiling. I'm just going to boil some water, folks, before I do that. Any little bits of rice that are up there down. Yeah, it's starting to stick on now, so now is the time for me to add the wine, because you want to cook the alcohol out. So I would say half a glass, maybe a bit more. Splash of good luck. Depends on your glass size, really, doesn't it? If you've got a whacking great glass, you can lose half a bottle. So it was there. So to about there, not too much. Now I need to get that so it's going to sizzle away again, and that alcohol needs to be leaving. God, it smells lovely. Okay, just wait for that to bubble down a little bit. I would say till it's nearly dry again, and then we put the stock in and bung the lid on, and we get this thing going. Okay. One thing I will say about my pressure cooker though, because I've got so used to the Ninja not creating a lot of mess, a lot of steam, or a lot of anything, I forgot how steamy everything becomes. So that is something to think about. And I don't have a massive kitchen. This is basically the only place it can come to. But it does have a very prominent place in my kitchen. I wouldn't be without it, especially as winter comes on. Summer's not so bad, but winter time comes along. I need that. Right, just let me grab my kettle. And it was up to 1/4 pint, so I'm going to make it half a pint of liquid. You must remember in your pressure cooker, liquid doesn't disperse as it would do if we were boiling it or simmering it in an open pan and staying with it and stirring. So you may find that once I open it up and I give it a stir and see if it's gone into the creaminess I want it. If I think there's too much liquid, I'll put it on sautéed again and let it dry up some more. Right, let me have a look. Yeah, right, it's doing it again. It's sticking on now. So now's the time to add our stock. Stock in. Quick swirl around. Okay. And now's the time to close it off. Take it to close, and let's take it to steam. Right, so back to my menu. So I've clicked my menu, I'm coming down my side menu and I'm stopping at steam, and it's asking me if I want 5 minutes. I'm actually going to go to, yeah, let's go with 5. And it won't start counting down till it's reached pressure, but I can hear now it's starting to reach pressure quickly. So, and it will tell me when it's done. So, and then I'll open it up. Quite often I'll open it up after 5 minutes and think it needs another 2 minutes. It doesn't take that long because it's so hot. It doesn't take that long to come to pressure. And I think I prefer stopping it at 5. So that if that rice decides it's going to stick on the bottom, hopefully it won't, but you just never know, because normally in a risotto you stood stirring it all the time. So it's always a little bit chancy, so you're better stopping it and restarting it so you can just give things a stir around, okay? See you in 5 minutes.
You're on.
Right, we're back. We're about to let the steam out. The buzzer's gone off saying the 5 minutes is up. On the Cosori, it's now in a keep warm mode, which I think lasts for another 2 or 3 minutes if you want it. You can just press stop, but I'm not pressing stop at the moment because I don't know whether we're going to put it back on. So I'm just going to let the steam out. Button on the top, it vents that way. Never stand over your electric pressure cooker. You can just let the pressure go down. You can turn it off and it will just depressurize in time, but always test it. Make sure there's no air pressure before you try opening your pressure cooker. When it gets to that, you know it's just about ready for you to open that lid. Like I say, it's just respect. I think treat it with respect. You'll have no problems. Trust me, my old-fashioned one that used to go on the top of my oven was a lot scarier than this. Okay, we turn it to open. There we go, open. Just going to get my spoon ready. Just gently, never do anything fast when you're opening these things. That looks pretty good. Right, this is what I can see. Hope you can see. My husband made me aware that you guys may not be able to see the numbers that I'm looking at. Okay, that is just as I wanted it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a teaspoon and just try a piece of that rice, because I think it probably might need 1 or 2 minutes more. Oh my god, flavours are amazing. Okay, I actually am just going to put it on salt and I'm going to stop it because it's in warming up mode. I'm going to chuck my cheese in. Okay, so all of this parmesan, actually I'll throw, that's the crust in. I'm going to throw half of this in because I don't want it being too salty. I may even add a little bit of cream if I don't think it's creamy enough. I'm going to just stir that around. Then I'm going to put it back onto saute. Well, that's looking really good, guys. Just to get rid of a tiny little bit more of the liquid. So back on. Down my menu again to saute. And start. And I think I'm going to go with 1 splash of cream. Double cream, and that was literally splashed because that's empty. And what am I missing, guys? Yeah, black pepper. That's it. Right. Now this is a point where you just need to stir again and just make sure you just letting some of that liquid go a little bit. just a tad too much in there. Yet the rice is cooked beautifully and it didn't stick on at all, so I'm absolutely thrilled with that. So you can see it start to bubble now. This is important, you just keep stirring so it doesn't stick on. I'm just going to find two bowls for us to put some risotto in. I'm actually putting them in past the bowls. It's very hot, so I don't need to warm the bowls. And I think a nice glass of wine, John, with this would be very nice. I know people are going to think I'm an absolute raving alcoholic. That's so not true. But I do enjoy being at work. Oh, we sit together, a glass of wine, just chat, and it's so relaxing. In my conservatory, I've got my Buddha. Oh, I put my Buddha music on, glass of wine, my favourite magazine. Takes me to another place. So who needs, what is it, drugs, weed, whatever? I don't. Right, and trust me, I have a stressy life. But I'm not complaining, really. Okay. Clean spoon. Oh my God, that's delicious. Okay. Couple more seconds and I'm going to serve it. What's missing from this meal for me is a big wedge of crusty bread. But as crusty bread doesn't really suit me that often, I have it as a treat. Can't have any. So it's just going to be the risotto. Okay, I'm going to lift it out. I'm going to turn it off. Off. Let's lift this out. Be careful. Don't burn yourselves. Put it on my... Should have had that prepared beforehand, shouldn't I? Okay, I'm going to take the lid off. Because one thing that you always got to do with these is I will take the seal out. It's just here. And I wash around it. I don't submerge it ever in water. You'll ruin your valves and everything else. But the seal, that can be submerged. But I take a hot soapy cloth and I give it a good wash around. Okay, but that is happening after we bake. I'll turn the power off on my pressure cooker. Spoon in there. And look at that colour. The mushrooms, the leeks. You'll notice there was no onions because you simply don't need, if you're using leeks, you don't need to. I did have the one garlic, as I said, but you do not need to add, I think that's kind of enough. We're supposed to be having a stir fry tonight, guys. Whoops. Maybe I'll stop there. I won't serve it all because otherwise I won't eat tonight. And I've just thought, hidden in there is the crust off the parmesan. Let's just dig around and get it out. I saw it go in. John would not be impressed if I gave him that. Oh, but can you see? It actually goes really gooey. Can you see? So that is worth, the flavour that goes in there is worth doing. Just make sure you always fish it out and you don't serve it to anyone, otherwise they'll never come back. Super. Right. I've got to share this with you as well. Cheapest chips. This rosé from Waitrose, unbelievable, $4.99. It gets the buyer's award. And I went to our Waitrose has a deli counter where you can go and have lunch. Okay, I was in there with my daughter and we had a lunch. A glass of wine, it was just a meat platter and some crusty bread and the glass of wine. And so I asked the guy behind the counter, because the rosé was like delicious. And he said, I've got, he showed me the bottle. He said, I've got to be honest, we just use our own Waitrose rosé. So I have started buying this, and it's great for all right, it's not full-bodied, you won't go on about the flavours, it's just incredibly pleasant, nicely flavoured rosé wine. So what's not to love? Anyway, thanks again for watching. Try the risotto. If you've got your electric pressure cookers, dig them back out of the cupboard. It's winter coming on. I'm going to do a few more stews. Good old Ninja, I'm going to be doing the dauphinoise potatoes. It's probably going to be my next one in there. Complement it with a lovely beef stew. What's not to love? Okay, see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Mwah.